Okay, I have a few minutes. Let me do the thing. My stuff will come up, yes. So I need to choose a save. Okay, so the first choice, first two choices have to do with the Narumi side. Third choice, I think the choice I would decide to go with was already the best choice if I wanted to optimize my Maina status. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm sitting here reading this, trying to figure out which choice matters. Oh man. So choices 1 through 14 still don't think matter. I'll have to lose the load button. Whoops. Yeah, okay, now to load menu. So, all the way to 14 I don't think really matters when you're choosing between Maina and Mew. So this is Narumi, 15, and 16 and 17 are Narumi at least. 15 is actually not 15. 15 is a Renmaru, but 16, 17, 18 are Narumi. 19 is also Narumi. 20 is Narumi. 21, I think it's probably Narumi still. 22 is Narumi, likely. 23 is Narumi. Okay, so 24 we're going back into Renmaru, that probably doesn't matter. 25, Renmaru, doesn't matter though. 26 probably doesn't matter. 27 likely doesn't matter. 28 likely doesn't matter. 29 is probably Narumi. This, the bathtub, email. Okay, and then Narumi flashback. 36 is a Renmaru flashback. Still in the flashback. 38. And 39 still in the flashback. 40 you pick them all anyways. 41 we're still in the Narumi. Okay, let's see here. 42. Okay. We're talking with Maina. We probably still made the best decisions. Best celestial bodies. Okay. These are flashbacks. 36, 46, and 47. And 48 is the rock, paper, scissors stuff. 49 is Narumi stuff. 50 I accidentally skipped. So I don't know what's going on there. This is all the baseball stuff. 54 is Narumi again. Okay, so let's start with 55. I'm going to pick stand in front of Maina. Which I don't know what's the best decision for Maina, but that's what I'm going to pick here. Then I hit the plus button. This doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, so my notes are, how did you find us? Why do you know about us? And why did you bring us here? I still think why did you bring us here is still the right choice. What about your body? Why did you stop? How do you return to the original world? Third one is still probably the best. Are there any other humans, or why are there no people or creatures in this world? I would put, that one. Pick, why are you in this world? Okay. So I gotta pick the correct answer, which is 45. I'm still gonna look at in the right place for the pennant. This is correct. Oh. Oh, that's skippable. Okay. So who I talk to here? You want to talk to Yu, which is the middle choice. And then I don't know if Maina would really like us to say it's not I like a castle, so I'm going to say it is like a castle. Now, for the Utopia, I'm going to say bad. I still don't really understand that part. What, you haven't enjoyed your freedom yet? Okay, Maina doesn't really like that. She's still like, I want to see the movie. So, Maina says, it's hard to keep stressing out, Remark, you have to relax a little. Mew says, that's right, I want to see the movie. You're the only one. You could even watch it in your original world. Okay. So it appears that, I've already read that. Okay, let's not look for girl stuff. Well, you have to pick one of these. And I'll pick this one. This doesn't give me very many options here. Huh. I'm gonna say I drink orange juice. Mew, give me some orange juice too. Yes. Mew threw down the orange juice. Thank you. Gulp. Hooah. It's sugar that will blow away your fatigue. Now look at Chisato, she was drinking Rotomone. You can drink that kind of thing?
大好きなの。
I love it. Isn't it better to wash your tongue?
洗えるかっつーの。
Washable, haha. Chisato chuckled. This kid also laughs like that. Seeing her smile made me feel at ease.
ロドモンいっぱいあるな。もうらい。
Rotomone, there's a lot. It's too much. Chisato said as she put one Rotomone in her inner pocket. Okay, this probably is skippable. Yes. At this point, I think I ran out of notes. No, I haven't run out of notes yet. What do you know, I think?
キリデラがサイクリ
Let's talk to Maina here. We were sitting on the grass watching the Mirage crowd come to life. There was only about 15 centimeters between me and Maina. Under the slight cool night air, I was close enough that I could even feel Mina's body temperature. The time was around 11 p.m. It's already been half a day since I was sent to this world. I'm really tired. Too many things have happened in the past 12 hours.
レンマル君はどう思いますか？この12時間長かったと？それとも短かったと？
Is this skippable? No, it's not. Okay. It's been a long time, I guess. Compared to the 12 hours I spent last week or a month ago or a year ago somewhere, it's overwhelmingly dense, and there are so many things I have to think about that I'll die. So many things have happened, and my body is exhausted.
そうなんですよね。
That's right. Maina answers my
いろんな
words.
ことが起こった方が時間を短く感じるって、あれ嘘だと思いません？
They say the more things happen, the shorter time feels. Do you think that's a lie? Huh?
私むしろ逆だと思うんです。
I think it's actually the opposite. Does it feel longer when a lot of things happen?
ええ、例えば退屈な時間は遅く感じる、楽しい時間は早く過ぎ去ると一般的には言われることが多いみたいですが、これって本当でしょうか？
So I think we've already read this conversation, but we've read it later in the game. Like, you can have it happen earlier if you choose to spend time with Maina earlier. Yes, for example, boring times feel slow, fun times seem to pass quickly. It seems to be commonly said, but is this true? Everyone's sense of time is different, and unless you can peer into someone else's head, there's no way to know how they feel, right?
多が問題ですね。おっしゃる通り。
It's a problem of otherness, as you said. Maina nods with satisfaction at my words.
時間の感覚はクオリア。私の見ている赤と他人の見ている赤は全く別の感覚として経験されているのかもしれません。
The sense of time is qualia. The red that I see and the red that others see may be experienced as completely different
例え
sensations.
ば仕事をしている2時間、映画を見ている2時間、好きな人と過ごす2時間、その3つのうちどの2時間が一番早く感じるでしょう？
I'm going to... Whoops. No. While I'm recording this, click to initiate the upload of a different part. Okay. I think that's it for now. Because the last session was a stub, and a not very efficient stub at that, this will likely be tacked on to the end of that if I remember. And it seems like from the conversation that was going on at the end that we could get a different conversation than previously later on in the story after the Weird Clean War. That might be a big speech from Maina. So let's see if we can actually read that big speech. And then hopefully reading that big speech will change the outcome of the ending. I don't know if it may not, but at least we'll get the big speech. Or not. I mean, we may not even get that. I'm just like counting my chickens before they've hatched. Okay, so this is the last line from last time. And sorry if I get too lazy about reading these. They're in really small font on the actual in the actual video, so I should read all these out loud. Sometimes I forget because I'm in the stage where I'm like skipping forward a lot. Anyway, my wonder, says Renmaru.
レンマル君は高校生だから最初の2時間については授業と言った方がイメージしやすいかもしれませんね。以降はあくまでも私個人の主観なのですが。
Renmaru-kun is a high school student, so it might be easier to imagine the first 2 hours as classes. After that, it's just my personal opinion. Also, of course, we've read this conversation before, and that makes me want to not read it again, but there could be something subtly different.
仕事をしている2時間はあっという間に過ぎてしまいます。本当に頭がおかしくなってしまったんじゃないかと思うほど超絶爆裂的な速度で過ぎ去っていくように思えます。
The 2 hours I spent working go by in the blink of an eye. It seems to go by at such an incredible explosive speed. I wonder if my mind has really gone
ちょっ
crazy.
と考え事をしていただけで2時間なんてあっという間ですから。
I was just thinking for a while, and 2 hours went by in the blink of an eye.
昔は映画を見ている2時間はその内容が面白ければ面白いほどあっという間だったなという感覚があったのですが。
In the past, the more interesting the content of the 2 hours spent watching a movie, the more I felt like it went by in the blink of an eye.
今はどれだけ面白くても仕事をしている2時間よりは長く感じます。
No longer how interesting it is now, it feels longer than the 2 hours I spent working. I still feel like it's time. It's probably like, do you still feel like it's time to watch a movie?
そうですね。
That's right. Maina says and smiles.
こんな話を知人にするとそれだけ仕事が充実してるってことだよなんて言われたりするのですが、果たしてそうでしょうか。
When I talk to my friends about this, they say things like, that just means you have a fulfilling job. Is that really true?
充実ってそういうことを言うんでしょうか。
Is that what they mean by fulfillment?
確かに仕事をしている間の集中力は尋常じゃないものがあるかもしれません。けれど何かが起こるわけではないのです。イベントはゼロ、感情の起伏もほとんどない。
It is true that my concentration while working may be unusual, but that doesn't mean anything will happen. There are 0 events. There are almost no emotional ups and downs.
視界に映るのは青いディスプレイと活字のみ。
All I see is the blue display and type.
2時間の間に移動する場所といえばトイレとポットの前だけ。動いているのは指先と貧乏ゆすりの足だけ。繰り返しになりますが何も起こらないのです。
The only place I move during the 2 hours are the toilet and in front of the pot. I presume the coffee pot again. The only things that move are my fingertips and my poor feet. Again, nothing happens.
何も何一つ。
Nothing. Nothing.
充実ってそういうことだと思いますか？
Do you think that's what fulfillment means? I wonder what it is. I feel like something is wrong.
じゃあ比較のために好きな人と会っている2時間について考えてみましょう。
Now, for comparison, let's think about 2 hours of meeting someone you like. Maina, are you dating someone?
付き合ってる人ですか？
Huh? Dating someone? Question mark. Right, there's no subject in there, right? So she's just kind of off guard by the question. Yeah.
いませんよ。
It's there is no there it's Yes, the translator has a hard time translating this. Imas is like there is. But you use it for animals and people, right? So there is imasinyo is like there is not. What the translator is doing, if you can read it, it's really small on the screen, is it's going like it's like assuming a place and it's assuming a subject. And you can't assume either.
いないけど想像することならできます。好きな人と会っている2時間。きっとその2時間の間にはびっくりするほどいろんなことが起こるんでしょう。
There is not, but I can imagine it. 2 hours of meeting someone I like. I'm sure a lot of surprising things could happen in those 2 hours.
楽しいことがあったり、腹の立つことがあったり、新しい発見があったり。
Sometimes I have fun, some things make me angry, and I make new discoveries.
とにかく良くも悪くもいろんな刺激がたくさんある。その刺激に喚起されて様々なことを考え、思い、悩み、感じる。
There are so many different kinds of stimuli, good or bad. Those stimuli arouse me and make me think, feel, worry, and feel all kinds of things. I wonder what Google Translate has to do with what that will do with that. Come on, I got all messed. My settings all messed up now. Where's J? In any case, for better or for worse, there is an abundance of stimuli all around. Stirred by these stimuli, I find myself thinking, reflecting, agonizing, and feeling a myriad of things. Okay.
どちらかといえば、こちらの方が充実と呼ぶにふさわしいとは言えないでしょうか。
If anything, wouldn't you say that this is more suitable to be called
だ
fulfillment?
としたら、
If that's the
仕事を
case,
している2時間に比べて、好きな人と会っている2時間の方が圧倒的に濃密だということになります。
compared to 2 hours spent working, 2 hours spent meeting someone you like is more intense.
当然、その2時間の中で記憶される情報量も後者の方が多くなります。
Naturally, the amount of information stored in the latter 2 hours will be greater.
経験され、蓄積される情報量が多いのですから、この2時間は通常よりも長く感じるはずなのです。
Because there is so much information to be experienced and accumulated, those 2 hours feel longer than usual. I see. If you think about it only from the perspective of the amount of information accumulated, you can certainly say that.
ねえ。でも、退屈な時間は遅く感じる。楽しい時間は早く過ぎ去る。
Yes, but boring time feels slow, fun time passes
こ
quickly.
ちらの方が一般的に常識とされているのはなぜでしょうか。
Why is this generally considered common sense? Well, now, I wonder
実
why.
は単純に言い回しが適切でないから、それだけのことなのです。
Actually, it's simply because the wording is not appropriate.
少なくとも私はそう思います。次のように言い方を変えると、おそらく納得していただけるのではないでしょうか。
At least, that's what I think. If you rephrase it like this, you'll probably
早く
understand.
過ぎ去ってほしい時間は長く感じる。過ぎ去ってほしくない時間は早く感じる。
Time that I want to pass quickly feels longer. Time that I don't want to pass feels faster.
これだと仕事をしている時間は締め切りに追われていれば追われているほど過ぎ去ってほしくない時間となるため、超速で感じるのは当然になります。
In this case, the more you are chased by deadlines, the more time you don't want to pass. So it's natural that the time you spend working feels super fast. Will feel super fast.
つまり個人の時間感覚にとって楽しいか楽しくないか、退屈か退屈じゃないか、充実しているか否かというのは直接的には関係がないということです。
In other words, whether it is fun or not, whether it is boring or not, whether it is fulfilling or not, has no direct relation to an individual's sense of time.
もっとも楽しい時間イコール過ぎ去ってほしくない時間となるのが普通なので、間接的な要因にはなるでしょうけれど。
However, it is normal that fun time equals time you don't want to pass, so it may be an indirect factor. But I hear that age has something to do with it.
L 分の t の法則ですか？
Is it the T over L law?
ある時間 t をどれぐらいの長さに感じるかは、その人の全人生の時間 L に反比例すると言います。
It is said that how long a certain time T feels is inversely proportional to the total time L of a person's
つま
life.
り L 分の t がその人の感じる時間の感覚に関係しているってことです。
In other words, T over L is related to the person's sense of
例え
time.
ば
For example,
4歳の子供にとっての1年は4分の1イコール 0.25 イコール 25%。
I'm going to hit the skip button.
20
We'll see
歳
what
の青
happens.
年にとっての1年は20分の1イコール 0.05 イコール 5%。
Okay, so I'm going to read these two lines again. 1 year of a 4-year-old child is 1/4. Well, I already didn't read them again. Anyway, which is 0.25 or 25%. 1 year for a 20-year-old youth is 1/20th or 0.05 or 5%. I'm going to hit the skip button a second time.
40歳の壮年にとっての1年は40分の1イコール 0.025 イコール 2.5%。
You have to skip twice because of the weird jankiness of skip, but it's confirming because I hit the skip button 2 times and it still didn't skip that this is still not skippable. So you might be, you're still wondering, why is he reading this again? We've already read this because it's not skippable. And the reason why it's not skippable is because it's occurring at a different point in the timeline of the story than I've previously read it in. And they're too lazy to go, oh, this is common text for later in the story. I'm going to make it so that you can skip. And that might be a good thing because if they did do that, you may not necessarily realize how what you're doing now is different, right? 1 year for a 40-year-old is 1/40th or 0.025 or 2.5%.
そうして加齢とともにある時間が人生の中で占める割合は減っていく。
As we get older, the proportion of our time in our lives
4
decreases.
歳児にとっての1年は全人生の 25% にも達する。
1 year for a 4-year-old child accounts for 25% of their entire
当
life.
然次の1年もそのぐらい長いのだろうと彼は予測する。
Naturally, he predicts that the next year will be that long.
だけど5歳になった時彼の1年は全人生の 20% に減っている。
However, when he turns 5 years old this year, his year is reduced to 20% of his entire life.
10歳になった時には 10% に、20歳になった時には 5% に。
When he turns 10 years old, it becomes 10%, and when you turn 20 years old, it becomes 5%. And what Maina was saying earlier, that how long something feels might be proportional to how many memories you index in that time, it's kind of funky when you go back to really young, because it's very difficult to remember stuff that happened when you were very young. But then there's this weird caveat. It's difficult to remember your experiences when you're really young. But a bunch of non-experiential rote fact information is easier to remember from when you were young than when you were older. So I have a better idea of what my diet was and what I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 5 years ago than what I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner when I was 5. Which I'm older than 10, so those are different. However, stuff that I would have memorized when I was 5, that's just random facts, are easier for me to recall now than stuff I memorized when I was 5 years old, less old than now, that is random facts. So it's kind of weird like that. And I read somewhere that ages 5 through 8 is a certain amount of time, is a certain period of your life where if you learn things over over those ages, they stick better, and you have greater capacity to learn more things. First of all, and they stick in your head longer afterwards. The stuff you learn when you're older. It's kind of tragic that that's the case, because when you're that young, you don't know what's going to be important for you later in your life. And so you don't know what's most important to utilize that high learning efficacy time period to actually learn. You're sort of dependent on your parents and your teachers to utilize that age, that stretch of your life the best. And you can't trust those people, especially the teachers. I had to pick a parent that was somewhat good at figuring out like what to put in there, but like teaching has so much inertia, it just doesn't adapt well to the times you're in, and they always seem to waste that time, and sometimes profoundly. And you yourself, so yeah, parents sometimes know better. The school system's terrible with it. You yourself just don't have enough life experience to know how to use it yourself. And you have this additional problem of you're not very motivated, right? Because even though 5 to 8 year olds can learn really well, they have a hard time even. It's not like they don't know. It's not just that they don't know. They don't know. They don't want to. So you kick and scream against what you best ought be doing then. So yeah, it's a problem. As like, sort of a stressful thing about parenting right now, I have, through my life experience, I have an idea of like what from ages to 5 through 8 my kids need to learn, and I might be kind of egotistical about that, and I might miss, but like I think I know what it is, right? Anyway.
100歳まで生きれば1年は彼の人生にとってわずか 1% の出来事に過ぎない。つまり加齢とともに時間の流れを早く感じるって話ですね。
If you live to be 100 years old, 1 year is just 1% of the events of your life. In other words, as you get older, you feel that time passes faster. And you slam into the end real hard, yes. That's right, that's it.
ここからはオカルトっぽい話なのですが。
From here on, it's going to be an occult-like story. After saying that, well, after saying no, having offered the caveat, Maina continued. Okay, that makes
もしも
sense.
仮に地球
Oops.
一様に遅くなっているとしたらどうでしょう。
When I move windows around, it makes it so that the audio from the game cuts out, so you end up with, like, not all of her voice line. What if the thinking speed of all humans on Earth were uniformly slowed down?
その場合にも人々は口々に言うことになります。
Even in that case, people will say it out loud, will they?
最近時間が過ぎるのを早く感じるようになってねと。4歳児、5歳児、10歳の子供、20歳の青年、40歳の壮年、100歳の老人。
Recently, I've started to feel that time passes faster. 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 20-year-olds, young men, 40-year-olds in their prime, 100-year-olds.
全人類の思考速度が一様に遅くなっているのだから、この場合にもみんなが時間の流れを早く感じたとしても不思議ではないはずです。
I guess 40-year-old is prime in Japan. Yeah, there are studies that sometimes together casual ones that show that in the United States, on average, men feel the happiest at around 40, and then women feel the happiest in their 20s. Which is a problem, because autism. It's indicative that men are not having enough resources to not want things early enough in their life, that they'll have children early enough in their life to avoid advanced paternal age, which is associated with genetic disease. So it's a problem. Well, it has to do with the biology. It's an incompatibility between biological optimization and societal optimization. It's kind of not good. Yeah. Education's taken too long, and making your career is just taking too long right now.
では思考速度が遅くなるとはどういうことでしょう。
Then what does it mean when your thinking speed slows down? If you think of it in the same way as a CPU clock frequency decreases, it means the calculation processing speed slows down, right?
その通り。
That's right, but you wouldn't notice though.
すなわち 単位時間における思考の総量が減るということに他なりません。
In other words, it means the total amount of thinking per unit time
この
decreases.
場合、リンゴが落ちる光景は以前よりも早く見えるはずですし、そればかりではなく、周りで起こるさまざまな運動の様子が全て早送りに見えるでしょう。
In this case, the sight of the apple falling will appear to be faster than before, and not only that, but the various movements occurring around it will all appear to be in fast forward. That's... through this conversation with Maina, a puzzle of images that have been scattered in my head begins to make on a meaningful form once again. I remember the moment right before I was sent to this world by Mew. With Mew. It probably was by Mew too, but the game hasn't revealed that yet. At that time, we were looking at the world as if it had moved into slow motion. Well, I guess they were put into fast forward. More so, your processing speed just increased. Maybe the world we perceived is in slow motion. In other words, our thinking speed at the time was tremendously fast.
Eh?
Huh? You said that out loud, Rimaru. Oh, no, it's nothing. Maya looked at me strangely, but I pretended to smile. When you say slow motion, you say that people who have been in an accident or in surroundings that feel like they're... Oh, well, let's try to fix the grammar here. Speaking of slow motion, you know how people who've been in an accident often say that everything around them seems to slow down? Why do you think that happens?
それは
That's...
自分の生命の危機が迫った時、その瞬間だけ人間は限界を超えて思考速度を速めるのではないかと。
I think that when a person's life is in danger, for that moment, humans go beyond their limits and speed up their thinking.
我が身を守るため超速で思考を回転させて、取るべき姿勢、体勢、受け身、事故後のこと、両親のこと、恋人のこと、明日の試験のこと、怪我をしたらあれが不便になるなとか。
Yeah, turbo mode. Anyway, in order to protect myself, I think about the posture I should take, how passive I am, what to do after the accident, about my parents, about my lover, about tomorrow's exam. If I get injured, that will be an inconvenience.
そういったことを一瞬で思考するために、全てをスローモーに経験するんではないでしょうか。
In order to think about such things in an instant, don't you experience everything in slow motion? I see, that makes sense.
その体験には脳の中の消化体という器官が関係していると言われているのをご存知ですか？
Did you know that this experience is said to be related to an organ in the brain called the pineal gland? Huh?
消化体は第三の目とも言われている器官で、光に非常に敏感な器官だといいます。特定の波長の光を見ることで痙攣発作を起こす。あれも消化体の過剰反応によるものです。
The pineal gland is an organ that is also called the third eye, and is said to be extremely sensitive to light. When exposed to light of a certain wavelength, seizures can occur, and this is also due to an overreaction of the pineal gland.
人間の睡眠にも深く関わっていると言われていて、睡眠リズム、つまり時間感覚すら司っているとも。
It is said to be deeply involved in human sleep and deep rhythms. In other words, it even controls the sense of time.
体内時計を調節し、外実リズムを刻む。その消化体に刺激を与えると、シナプスが興奮して連鎖反応的に脳の隅々にまで伝播します。
When you stimulate the pineal gland, which regulates the body's internal clock and carves out circadian rhythms, the synapses become excited, which spreads to every corner of the brain in a chain
結果、
reaction.
脳が覚醒するわけですが、それによって脳の機能は格段に向上するのです。
As a result, the brain becomes more awake, which significantly improves brain function. I see. The speed of thought becomes extremely fast, and as a result, when you experience a slow motion
その通りで
phenomenon.
す。
That's right. So you're saying the pineal gland is the clock chip? Okay.
さすがレンマル君は理解が早いですね。ちなみに消化体は魂の座であると言います。
As expected, Renmaru-kun is quick to understand. By the way, the pineal gland is said to be the seat of the soul.
まあ実際の魂がどこにあるかは別として、極めて重要な器官であることは確かでしょうね。
Well, regardless of where the actual soul is located, it's certainly an extremely important organ. You know so much.
ライフワークみたいなものですから、時間についてずっと考えてるんです。
It's like my life's work. I'm always thinking about time. To make it the subject of a novel? No, that's meta. She answered the question with a somewhat lonely smile.
さっき付き合ってる人はいないって言ったでしょ？
You just said I'm not dating anyone, right? Ah.
でも好きな人ならいるんです。
So it's probably like, no, it's okay. So let me get back up here. It's just, there's no subject on that there. It's just said I'm not dating anyone, right? It's not you just said. It's just said. So it's actually her. Ah, but there is someone I like. Huh?
昔からずっと好きだった人。彼約束してくれたんです。必ず会いに行くからって。だから私その人のことを待ち続けて今日まで。
The person I've loved for a long time. He promised me I'll definitely come see you. So I kept waiting for that person until today. After saying that, Maina quickly snuggles up to me. She rests her head on my shoulder. I never understood this line. Is it that Rimaru has something in his backstory we don't know yet? Where he used to hang out a lot with Mew, and then Mew moved away, and then he ended up picking up another girl, which is actually Maina? Mina's, you would think, is a lot older than him, so that's kind of weird, but it does happen in some of these Japanese visual novels, right? You have the high school boy dating the college girl and so on. Or you could actually, Never 7, you could actually go for the PhD, the professor. Well, but he was a college boy. Yeah, college boy goes for the professor. Or did she just mistake him for someone else? Or she has been waiting for this guy, but at this point she's given up because she thinks she's trapped in this alternate world forever, which she could never get to, and decides, I waited for him until now, and now I'm going to stop waiting for him. And now switch to this guy. What? Why is this happening? I guess there's someone you like? While I was confused, a strangely murderous gaze pierced through me. Mew? When I looked over Mina's shoulder, I saw Mew standing there. Mew was clenching her fists and shaking her shoulders. The moment I tried to explain, Mew had ran away in a mad dash. Oh, we have a completely new choice here. So you have chase after her or don't chase after her. I presume. I'm going to choose don't chase after her. What is it? That guy? Or that? While staring at Mew's back as she ran away, I was confused by the situation.
いいの？追いかけなくて。
Is it really okay not to chase after her? Huh?
私はいいですから、早く追いかけてあげた方が。
I'll be fine. You better go after her quickly. Yeah, I'm sorry, Maina. I ran after Mew as Maina urged me. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the best, like, Maina choice, because she says to do it. So it's like, if you did it without her asking, that just looks better. Wait, Mew. I grabbed Mew's shoulder and turned her around.
なんなの？うざい。ついてこないでよ。
What is it? It's annoying. Don't follow me. What? As I said that, Mew waved her hand away and ran off again. I felt alone in a vast park at night, and the night breeze felt strangely chilly. So let's go where Maina is again.
あら、みゆちゃんはどうしたんですか？
Oh, what happened to Mew-chan? No, I don't feel like she's listening to me.
そうですか。
I see. As she said that, Maya looked down and a sad shadow appeared somewhere in her profile. I silently sat down next to Maina again. Econ, whatever that means. After all, I don't have time for something. Okay, so econ is just like a cuss, kind of. I knew it, just can't seem to fill the silence. Time passes by in a blur, neither of us saying a
黙っ
word.
て何もしてないのに、やっぱり時間はゆっくりに感じられるんですね。
So it's like noisy. Even though I'm not doing anything, time seems to be slowing down. Huh? That's
時
right.
間がもったいない。
Time is a waste. Huh?
もっといろんなことを話して、いろんなことを経験して、大切な思い出を蓄積させたい。
I want to talk more, experience more, and accumulate more precious memories. Maina? Honestly, it bothers me, too, that someone suddenly said something like that to me. Maina stares blankly at the lawn, ignoring me, who was confused by her words.
このまま時間が止まってしまってもいいかも。
But it might be good if time stops like this. Huh? After saying that, Maina quietly snuggled up to me and rests her head on my shoulder. What? Why is this happening again? Didn't she say that there is someone you like? While I was confused, a strangely murderous gaze pierced through me. This feeling is... Feeling a sense of deja vu. I looked towards where I felt the gaze, and as expected, Mew was standing there. Mew was clenching her fists and shaking her shoulders. Is it just my imagination that it looks like heat haze is rising from Mew, who is even more angry than before? This time, just as I was about to explain, Mew ran away in a mad dash. I was left alone on the lawn with Maina, who was cuddling with me without noticing anything. Exactly where did that Mew guy go? Where did Mew go? A lot of time has passed since then. I thought it was about time for the heat to cool down, so I walked around the park looking for Mew.
いらっしゃいいらっしゃい。はいはい、そこ押さないの。大丈夫。そんな慌てなくてもみんなの分ちゃんとあるからね。
So she's serving soup. Let's see if it'll skip. Yes, it will. Wait, we don't have a discussion with Mew about who to fight for? That part just skips over? Okay, so I guess I should pick this one. Okay, so I put both, I guess.
でも
So we didn't get a big speech out of mine, I just sort of like got silence afterwards. Now I'll put the one without the question. Okay, so it looks like that heavy Maina bit does not actually change the ending. Might just look like negative viewpoints. Okay. Does the epilogue change? Do you watch what the movie with Maina afterwards? I'm trying to get to skip the credits. I don't know how to do that. I thought there was a way to do that. Tab. Plus. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is skippable. Nope, it's the same. I want to do both of these things. Okay. Great. Great. So going really Maina heavy does not change what ending I get. So 8 endings, and very difficult to get anything other than the 4th one. Well. This is brutal. Well, trying to like get a hint from these. So somewhere between you're meeting with the leader of the Chimera Club and your carousel, or maybe it's not carousel, your Ferris wheel ride with Yu. There's a CG that's possible. And before Tango gets caught with the gun by Yu, there's another CG that's possible that I miss. Right? So maybe there's something you can ride the Ferris wheel with someone else, possibly. That what could explain those. Or when you're talking with the leader of the Chimera Club, you could ask different questions and it might turn out different. So that's choice number... Um... 57, whoops, I hit the microphone by accident. 58 and 59 and 60, right? So those, you might want to try to explore different combinations of those next. See if that will do anything different. Then after the fight with between the Chimera Club and Mirage, there's a whole bunch of different CGs that I don't have. So that actually suggests something can happen that's different at the end of that fight. Don't know how that would happen, but something different at the end of the fight. And a lot of different stuff can happen in here, of course. Interesting. What's interesting is that this set of CGs is one away from the end, which suggests that this divide ending is really close to the very end. Like, the true ending, or the best ending, will go to close to where the divide ending is. But I would also include all this stuff. This is the what's it called? The Narumi side, which only unlocks the pages that have anything in them. And of course, it cuts off here because that's as far as I can get on the Narumi side. Huh. Well, this is really hard. I guess then, yeah, the next thing to try, actually, yeah, I think the next thing I would try is try to make everybody as mad at me as possible and try to make all the worst possible choices. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do next right now. Just on this recording as a test. Let's see if I can force a really, really terrible ending by making a bunch of really bad choices just to make something different happen. Okay. So, let's load the first save file. I'm going to pick, of course, I'm very unhappy. So let's talk about what's his face? Yeah, what's his face? Tamachi's hobbies. Cause that's like lame, right? I'll directly call the police, use the police phone. Directly use a landline. I don't think that really matters for who likes you, but I'm going to do that. We're going to deny the criticism. And we're going to ask her, why'd she come to the police station? We have to go through all these anyway, so it doesn't matter which one we pick. I can't skip this. Okay, so it's yes, I borrowed phones from various places. While flipping through the phone book, I went to a place where I thought I could connect. But you couldn't connect, right? Maina nodded gravely. What about email on your computer? Unable to send or receive. In the first place, it seems like it is not possible to connect to an external network. Then, do you also look at websites and blogs? Yeah, I can't. Electricity, gas, water, all lifelines are still alive, right? Now, I think this might be skippable. Yeah, okay. Don't think about it. Bad choice all around. Say I don't know what that is. No need to think about it. Common... Oh, no, it's not common sense. Nowadays, it is no longer unusual to encounter this as a medical setting. It is simply common practice. Is this your first time seeing this?
Huh? 何言ってんだ？
Now, what are you talking about? You're talking about the RSD device, right?
違う。医者じゃなくて千里の方だ。よく見てみろ。
Okay, so this we're gonna pick Don't Disturb Me. We're gonna lie. We're gonna single for Otomachi to explain and not us. Oh, we can't skip this. Okay. I said to signal Otomachi with my eyes. Otomachi nodded
とにかく
slightly.
こういうことだ。
Anyway, this is what it
お
is.
前は過去のある時点において自分の歴史を失った。
At some point in the past, you lost your
き
history.
れいさっぱりと。
Beautiful and refreshing. What in the world? Cleaned up completely. There you go.
さらに今、現在進行形でお前は歴史を失い続けている。
Furthermore, in the present tense, you continue to lose history.
お前の記憶は5分しか持たないらしい。
It seems your memory lasts only 5 minutes.
5分よりも前の記憶は時間の経過とともに端から忘れていく。
Memories from more than 5 minutes ago will be forgotten over time.
要するに、ほうきで自分の足跡を消しながら後ろ向きで歩いているようなもんだ。
In short, it's like walking backwards while erasing your footprints with a broom.
それがコルサコフ症候群。
Is that Korsakov syndrome?
まあ、簡単に言うとな。
Well, to put it simply,
とはいえ、俺は医者じゃないから断言はできない。
however, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for certain. Besides, the possibility that you're lying hasn't gone away yet. I told the boy clearly. The boy's eyebrows were furrowed and he had a confused expression on his face. We're going to scream. Why is no one here? I can't skip this apparently. I screamed. What on earth has become of this world? The voice ran through the valley of the buildings, echoing, reflecting off the hard walls and returning like an echo. When the afterglow disappeared, Mew said.
もう何度も同じこと言わないでよ。
Don't say the same thing over and over again.
耳に
Okay, say you don't know about the Degrecia. But I knew. I explained it to Mew. Wait a second. Is this one backwards? Let me tell you about this incident. Okay, so this one's backwards. So I messed that one up. Okay, this won't be too bad of a problem though. I don't think that really affect things that much, but I'm trying to make all the bad choices, right? We're going to get mad at Otomachi. Otomachi, aren't you stupid? Oh, it stopped. You're wearing a uniform, right, from Rebrock.
これってリブロクの制服なのか？
Is this uniform for Rebrock? Didn't you just realize?
おう。
Ah,
いや、あの画像に写ってたキリデラも同じようなネクタイをしてたな。
by the way, Kiradera in that image was also wearing a similar tie. Yes, that's it. So,
だから
so what should I do? Otomachi strokes his chin.
あ、そうか。リブロクのデータベース。
Oh, that's right, the Rebrock database. Otomachi seems to have finally found the answer and said,
あの生徒名簿には顔写真もついてたからな。
Okay, is this
その
cool
中
now?
から
Nope.
こいつの顔を見つけ出せばいいってわけだ。
The students list even has a photo of their face. All you have to do is find this guy's face among them. That kind of thing. I answer, resting my chin on the table.
そうと分かれば話は早い。
If you know that, it will be easier to talk.
待ってろ。すぐに調べてやるからな。
Wait, I'll look into it right away. Otomachi said as he took out his laptop from the bag and had placed it on it at his feet. At his feet? Saying that, Otomachi took a laptop out of the bag and placed it at his feet. Okay, apparently it's at his feet. This is the machine that, even though the pictures has it on his desk or on the table. This is the machine I was using earlier, a computer from Otomachi. He opened it and began tapping away on the
名
keyboard.
簿のデータは丸ごと吸い出してある。だから、リブロクのサーバーにはわざわざアクセスしなくても。
The entire directory data has been extracted, so you don't have to go to the trouble of accessing the Reebok server. It was the next moment. Otomachi's hand suddenly
お
stopped.
いおい、マジかよ。
Hey, are you serious? The blood drains from his face. What's wrong? After Otomachi thought for a while,
ちょっといいか。来てくれ。
Nurmi, can you please come for a second? I grabbed my open computer and got up from my seat. Otomachi heads towards the exit of the store. I asked, facing his back. What about him? What will we do with this boy?
待たせておけ。
Keep him waiting, right? Keep him waiting. But
大丈夫だ。
it's okay.
そいつがこの場を離れることはない。絶対に。
He will never leave this place. That guy isn't leaving the spot, absolutely not. I didn't understand what it meant, but anyway. Sorry, please wait a moment. I told the boy.
Hi.
Yes. A one-word response, a vague voice. The boy was looking at the tree diagram drawn on the window glass without getting bored. What, the boy gazed, never tiring of it, at the branching patterns making shapes upon the window pane. When I left the store, there was a nurse's station nearby. Otomachi was standing in front of them. I walked up to his side. What's wrong? I repeat the same question as before. Otomachi puts his laptop on the counter.
どうしてもこうしてもない。
No matter what we do, we can't do this.
見つけたんだよ。あいつのデータを。
I found the guy's data. But isn't it too fast? The total number of students at Reebok is 432. Although it is not a large number, it would have been some time to check the images of each person. But
見
why?
ればわかる。
You'll understand when you see it. Otomachi answered shortly and pointed at the computer screen. The first thing that caught my eye was a face photo on it, a bust shot image. There was no doubt that the boy in the picture was wearing glasses. Next, check the name. I tried reading it out loud. First year Class A attendance number 02 Inose Omega. I see, that's why you were able to find it so quickly. So easily. If it's 1A and number 2, just follow it from the top and you'll be right there. Wait a minute. Inose Omega, Inose. When I said Inose, that
青い
Still
髪
not
の
skippable.
少女。千里と同じ名字だな。
the blue-haired girl has the same last name. Or the blue-haired girl, Chisato, has the same last name. So maybe,
そのもしかしてだ。
yes, that
尾
maybe.
行のところ読んでみろ。
Please read the notes. I followed the last line with my eyes. There it was. First year Class D, Chisato Inosu's younger brother.
二人は兄弟らしい。
They seem like
と言っ
siblings,
ても、学年は同じだから。
but they are in the same grade, so they are twins? But they don't look alike at all, and the genders are different. Does that mean they're dizygotic?
だろうな。
I guess. So, still can't skip. Hey, Maina, maybe you know something. Okay, now I can skip. So I'm going to say helicopters. Not a single helicopter is flying. Whether it's a virus spread or a radiation leak accident. If such an event were to occur, there would be police, self-defense forces, and media helicopters flying overhead. But I can't see any of them. That means...
いいえ、レンマル君、そういうことではなく。
No, Renmark, and that's not what I meant.
他に何か気づきませんか？
Do you notice anything else? Other else? That was when Mew said
もし
suddenly.
かして鳥のこと？
Maybe it's about the birds. The birds?
だっていないじゃん。
Yeah, because they're
カ
not
ラ
there.
スもスズメもハトも。
Crows, sparrows, pigeons. I looked around in shock. It was certainly as Mew said. Not a single sparrow that would normally be chirping on the power lines, or a single crow that would be scavenging for leftover food in the garbage dump in the back alley.
それから多分昆虫もだと思う。
Okay, now let's me skip. Oh, I don't understand what this one is. Okay, so... check the data again. Reach inside your shirt, I think. So let's do the bad one. Before I knew it, my hand slipped inside my shirt. With a huff, I pulled my hand out and recrossed my
とにか
arms.
くこれで少年の身元は割れたことになる。
Anyway, the boy's identity has been
名
destroyed.
前はオメガ。千里の弟。住所はなんて書いてあったっけな。
His name is Omega, Chisato's younger brother. The address, I wonder what it says. Omotomachi looks at the computer. I looked into the back of his head. It's not written
Huh?
there. Huh? Looking back at Otomachi, because all the students at Rebrock live in the same place. You don't need to write it down.
どういうことだ？
What do you mean? It's a boarding school, Rebrock. That's why I said it earlier. Even if the boy really had amnesia, he wouldn't think it would be troublesome. It's almost like their true identity is known just by wearing the Rebrock uniform. Even if there is no database, you can find out everything in one go by checking the dormitory. Okay. Now we have Tell Omega and Don't Tell Omega. I'm going to try Don't Tell Omega. It's better not to tell. I mean, Otomachi also thinks so, right? You brought me here because you didn't want Omega to hear about it, no?
ああ、まあその通りだが。
Oh, well, you're right. Otomachi gently placed his hand on the laptop display and slammed it shut. If Omega really has amnesia,
俺たちが真実を伝えることによって、奴は余計なことまで思い出しちまうかもしれん。
if we tell him the truth, he might remember unnecessary things. About Chisato, she is currently hovering between life and death.
それを知ったオメガは再び激しく取り乱し、我を忘れ。
When Omega found out, he became extremely distraught again and forgot himself. Go to the operating room like before.
飛び込んでいこうとする。
Trying to jump in. I don't want to arrest him. Troublesome things.
俺だって同じだ。
Same for me. Then I guess
言わない方がいいな。
better not to say it. There was a rare consensus of opinion. Otomachi and I nodded to each other. But that's assuming he's not lying.
しつこいぞ、ナルミ。
Nagging Narumi.
そんなことは言わなくても分かってる。
I understand even if you don't say that.
あくまでも可能性の。
It's just a possibility. Otamachi paused and looked behind me. When I turned around, I saw the boy, Omega. What's wrong? I asked. Then
僕
Omega,
の名前
my name.
猪瀬オメガかもしれません。
Maybe say Omega? Does it skip? No, it doesn't. I gasped. Neighboring Otamachi also gulped. Maybe do you remember?
いえ、
No. Omega shook his head and took out a card from his pants
こ
pocket.
こにそう書いてあったから。
Here, it says so. Oh yeah, because we skipped this part, didn't we?
ズボンの後ろポケットに入ってたんです。
It was in the back pocket of my pants.
それを見つけて。
Find that. I took the card from his hand and looked down at its surface. Otamachi also peeks in from next to me.
これ、千里が持ってたのと同じカードじゃないか？
This isn't the same card that Chisato had?
リブロクの学生証だ。
Reebok student ID.
とはいえ、普通の学生証とは全然違う。
However, it is completely different from a normal student ID.
プラスチック製で、中に IC チップが埋め込まれてるんだ。
It is made of plastic and has an IC chip embedded inside.
ほら、駅の改札とかで使う
Look, that's what you use at a station ticket gates, etc. You'll understand just by looking at it. More than that, as Omega said, the name was indeed engraved on the card. Omega Inose in Romanji. In other words, there was no need to go to the trouble of viewing the student list. If I had just looked into his belongings, I should have known his name right away. Huh, what am I doing? I looked up and faced Otamachi. Otamachi seemed to have noticed this as well, with a wry smile on his face. This was the intent. I intended to make all the bad choices this time. It was like wandering through. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So this is Be Harsh, I think. It's a theory, but it's just an urban legend, right? Isn't that the same story as the Kraken? I said in a slightly harsh tone. I can't skip this apparently. Then Maya's expression suddenly turned grim.
だから話の初めに断ったじゃないですか。
Isn't that why you said no at the
クラー
beginning?
ケンの伝説と同じレベルの話ですけどって。
The story on the same level as the legends of the
なの
Kraken?
にレンマル君がそれでも構わないって言うから。
But Rimaru-kun says that doesn't
だ
matter.
から私
That's why I...
どうします？話やめましょうか。
What shall we do? Shall we stop talking? I scratched the tip of my nose. No, that was bad. Please continue. She held out her other palm as if to escort me or something like that.
とにかくこれが一つ目の理由です。
Or he put his palm up in like this continue sort of fashion. Anyway, this is the first
マヤの
reason.
暦は今年2012年の12月で終わっている。
The Mayan calendar ends this year, December of 2012. Let's see.
ちょっと待って。
He goes, wait a minute.
それって何の説明にもなってないと思うんだけど、
I don't think that explains anything.
その話と私たちが未来にいる可能性とどういう関係があるの？
Does that story have to do with the possibility of us being in the future?
それは最後まで話を聞けば分かってもらえるでしょう。
If you listen to the story till the end, you will understand. You and I tilted our heads and stopped walking. Maina moved silently on, not caring about us. You and I looked at each other, nodded, and immediately followed Maina. Okay. Oh, I can't skip this. Amelia decided to go to see a doctor, psychiatrist, and a neurosurgeon at the university hospital. I didn't think there was any risk of him escaping, but I decided to have 2 police officers accompany him just in case. And I was taken to Otamachi. I just returned to the coffee shop from earlier. What are you talking about? I have something to do.
わかってる。
I know.
だがその前にいくつか聞いておきたいことがあるんだ。
But before that, there are a few things I would like to ask you. This is still not skippable. I told you everything I know. That scene, what happened at Integral, and the email sent from Makoto.
そう、メール。
Yes, email.
確かに口頭では教えてもらったが、実際に文面を読んだわけじゃない。見せてもらえるか？
I still can't skip this for some reason. Can I see it? There's nothing to worry about being seen. I pulled up my phone out of my pocket and threw it towards Otamachi. Otamachi took it, opened it up and down, and began operating the buttons with his thumb.
この一番上にある
Still
最
can't
新
skip.
のメール。受信時刻11時8分。
Isn't
の
that
やつがそうだな。
the latest email at the top of the page, receiving time 11:08? Yes, that's right. Otamachi is staring at the display. It seems that he is reading the text of the email. And they're going to pick the top option, which is just wait for him to finish. I'll wait for him to finish reading it. Still can't skip. Eventually, Otamachi looked up and spoke in a confident voice.
わかったぞ。
I got it. What did you find out? I leaned forward. Then
この
Otamachi...
メールを読んでも何もわからん。ということがわかった。
I realized that even if I read this email, I wouldn't understand anything. Huh? I took a deep breath and relaxed myself against the back of the chair.
第二エクリプス計画って何なんだ？
What is the second Eclipse project? Come on.
どうして第一じゃなくて第二なんだろう？
Why not number 1, but number 2? I don't know.
計画は奴らの思惑通りに。
The plan is according to their wishes. Who are these? They. I don't understand that either. The only thing I can say is that Kiradera is one of those them. When I asked him about the plan, he answered like this.
始まるんじゃない。終わるんだ。
Okay, can I skip this? Yes, I can. Okay. Insult Otamachi. It's a top choice, I think. Oh, that's frustrating. Why do you keep saying things that even a child can understand?
子供じゃわからんだろ。
Children don't understand?
トリプル X レベル6の意味なんて。
What does XXX level 6 mean? Don't lift your legs. Anyway, we don't have time. Kiradera also said something like this. When will that plan be carried out?
今から24時間後、明日の正午に。
24 hours from now, tomorrow at noon. I take out my pocket watch from my pocket and I check the time. Okay, is this skippable? No. Okay. 22 hours and 4 minutes until the time limit. I don't know what will happen then. In any case, I don't have the luxury of talking
わか
pointlessly.
ったよ。だが、急がば回れとも言うじゃないか。
I understand, but don't you say hurry up.
俺はボスから今回の件について、成美と共同で捜査を行うよう指示を受けてる。
I have received instructions from my boss to jointly investigate this matter with
い
Narumi.
わば、俺たちはパートナー。
So to speak, we are partners.
いつものようにそれぞれが勝手な行動を取るわけにはいかないんだ。
We can't let everyone do their own thing like usual. So,
意思の疎通を図りたいんだよ。
I want to communicate.
今ここでそれをしておけば、後々面倒な話をしなくて済む。
If you do it now, you won't have to trouble talking about it later.
タコとミコと伝えるだけで、相手が勝手に動いてくれる。
Okay, is this skippable? Yes, okay. So, disagree. I don't feel anything special. In fact, it's so slow during class that it's unbearable.
そういうこともあるとは思いますが、
I think that's the case,
ど
but
ちらかといえば早く感じることの方が多くないですか？
if anything, don't you feel it faster? No, not at all.
そうですか。珍しいですね。
Oh, I see. It's rare.
私は早く感じるよ。
Do I feel
お
fast?
正月なんてついこの間のことのように思えるし。
New Year's Day seemed like it happened just the other
で
day.
すよね。
Isn't it? Well, maybe that's the case in general. I'm sure there are more people who feel it quickly.
なぜでしょう？
Why?
なぜって言われても。
Even if you ask me why. The length of a certain time t is inversely proportional to the total amount of time L a person has experienced in their life. In other words, t over L is the perceived length that you feel when you experience the time t. For example, 1 year from a 10-year-old child is 1/10 of their entire life. 1 year for a 20-year-old man is 1/20th of his entire life. Why does he say this earlier? If you, well, this is interesting. For a 100-year-old man, 1 year is 1/100th of his entire life. In this way, how long a year feels approaches zero as each year passes. Needless to say, this is the same whether it's a day, an hour, or a minute. 1 hour this year will account for less than your entire life than 1 hour last year. Therefore, this year's hour feels faster.
なるほど。常識的な答えですね。
I see that is a common sense answer. And then this goes. Okay, so I guess it's also Kiradera. Is this one? There's one more thing. The reason why we have to arrest Kiradera. What? Otomachi doesn't believe me at all, but his special abilities. If we catch him, we can ask him about that too. When I told him that, Otomachi looked blatantly disgusted.
やめよ。その話は水かけ論になるだけだ。
Let's stop that discussion. It's just going to be a water argument. But there might be some connection between that ability and the plan.
どう関係があるって言うんだよ。
What's the relationship? I don't know about that.
とにかく、その話は保留としよ
Anyway, let's put that discussion on hold.
う。理由はどうであれ、目的は一つだ。
Whatever the reason, there is one purpose.
霧寺の確保。この点において、俺とお前は意見の一致を見ている。
Securing Kiridera. On this point, you and I are in agreement.
それでいいよな。
Is that okay? I reluctantly nodded.
さて、最優先事項が決まったところで、次はその方法についてだ。
Now that we have top priorities been determined, the next step is how to get there.
どうやって霧寺を捕まえるか。
How to capture Kiridera. We need to find out where he is quickly.
本部の方でも行方を追ってるが、あいつらは当てにならないしな。
Okay. So, what should we pick here? So our choices are Makoto, Rebrock, Chisato, and Miu and Chisato sounds stupid because she's in the surgery, so let's pick her. First of all, Chisato. If Chisato's surgery is successful and she regains consciousness, I can listen to her talking about Kiradera, the second Eclipse project, and the special abilities you mentioned. Or I mentioned. Or Omega. If Omega's memory is restored, he might be able to replace Chisato. They are siblings, I'm sure they know something.
そうかもしれないが、
Maybe so.
どっちにしろ、俺たちにはどうすることもできないな。
Either way, there's nothing we can do.
医者に任せるしか。
We have to leave it to the doctors. At that time, I suddenly remembered something and asked, Hey, by the way, you said Chisato's parents are heading to the hospital, right?
あ
Ah. Well then, let's listen to what they have to say when they arrive. About Chisato and
あ、
Omega.
もちろんそうするつもりだが、
Of course, I will, but what?
経緯の説明については、お前に任せるぞ。
I'll leave it to you to explain the circumstances.
俺には言えない。言えるわけがない。
I can't say it. There's no way I can say
お
it.
宅のお嬢さんは特殊能力の使い手である凶悪な少年に対し、同じく特殊能力を用いて果敢にも立ち向かっていったのですが、
The young lady of the house boldly stood up to the violent boy who has also had super user special abilities, but
まあ十中八九信じちゃもらえないだろうな。
most of the time you wouldn't believe me.
しかもそれだけじゃない。続きはこうだ。
And that's not all. Here's what's next.
ところでお宅の息子さん、オメガ君。現在、記憶喪失に陥っています。
By the way, your son, Omega-kun, is currently suffering from memory
ご
loss.
両親のことも、千里さんのことも、何も覚えていないそうです。
It seems like he doesn't remember anything about his parents or
ひ
Chisato-san.
っくり返るだろうな、そんなこと聞いたら。
If you hear something like that, you'll probably be upset.
ひっくり返って頭を打って、記憶喪失の患者があと2人増えるかもしれん。
He fell over and hit his head. Or like, I guess she's talking about the dad. There may be 2 more patients with memory loss. Or he's talking about both of them. They'll fall over and they'll hit their heads, and then there'll be 2 more patients with memory loss. I understand. I should explain it to them, right?
あ？頼んだぞ。
Oh, I asked for it. Otamachi threw himself back in his chair and cracked the joints of his neck.
で、続きは？
So, what's next? What's
言っ
next?
ただろう。手がかりとなる人物はたくさんいるって。
I told you there are many people who can provide clues.
その続きだよ。
That's what's next. Yeah. The quickest way to hear from is to hear from Rimaru and Mew. I'm sure the 2 of them know something about Kiradera and the plan. They don't, but you would think.
だが、2人はすでに手配済みだ。
But the 2 have already been arranged. What does arranged mean? However, the 2 of them have already been placed on the wanted list.
お前が書いたポートレートのデータは、捜査本部とボスのところに送ってある。
The data and the portrait you drew has been sent to the investigation headquarters and the boss.
レンマルとミュウの捜索については、他の連中に任せることにしよ
I'll leave the search for Rimaru and Mew to the others. Yes. We have other things to do.
う。念のため聞いておこう。
Let's ask just in case.
それはなんだ？
What is that? There's one thing you can do right now. I held out my palm towards Otamachi and continued. Can you give me back my cell phone now?
Boss.
Or soon? Boss?
ボスのところにかけるつもりだな。
Are you planning on calling the boss? That's right, the boss should know. About Makoto's current investigation target and its contents. So yes, give it back. Then Otamachi smacked my
まだ
palm.
だ。お前は大事なことを忘れてる。
Not yet, you're forgetting something important.
意識的に考えないようにしてるのか。
And you're consciously trying not to think about it. Okay, so this might be skippable. Nope,
無
okay.
意識的に目をそらしてしまっているのか。それはわからないが。
Or maybe you're unconsciously averting your eyes, I don't know, but... I knew what Otamachi was trying to say. For a moment my chest felt like it was being squeezed.
誠自身のことだよ。
It's about Makoto herself. Those words weigh heavily on me. Unable to bear it anymore, I looked away out the window. Yep. Okay, so this is like... Both are bad. She doesn't like either of
かゆい
these.
のもあるけど、そうじゃなくて
It's itchy. Some of it is itchy, but it's not like that.
悔しがってるの
I'm so disappointed. Why? Okay. You have to do all of these anyway, right? Yeah, so it doesn't matter what I do here.
気象庁予報部発表の現在首都圏全域に気象に関する注意報警報は出ていません。
Oh, it says currently there are no weather advisories or warnings in place throughout the Tokyo metropolitan area. The newspaper. Oh, it doesn't let me skip. This was printed there. It doesn't let me skip this. May 21st, 2012. The name of the coffee shop was painted on the window. zero time. Seems like it was hinting at something.
そもそも今回の事件にお前が巻き込まれたのは誠からメールを受け取ったからだ。
What in the world just happened? The reason why you got involved in this incident in the first place is because you received an email from Makoto.
このメールをな。
This mail. Otomachi turns his phone screen towards me. As if to say, don't look
だから
away.
本来であれば情報源であるところの誠を捜索するのが何よりも優先されるはず。
Therefore, searching for Makoto as the source of this information should be given priority above all
し
else.
かもこのメールには
Not skippable.
何やら不穏なことまで書いてある。
And this email even says something disturbing. Narumi-senpai, this will probably be my last request. Thank you so much for everything. I believe that we will meet again someday.
気にならないのか？
Don't you care? I'm sure you're interested.
じゃあどうして誠を探しに行こうとしない？
Well, why aren't you trying to find Makoto? I'm doing it. I'm gonna go find her. You're the one holding me back like this. I howled furiously as if breathing fire. Suddenly Otomachi's complexion changed. He's starting to turn pale. Perhaps trying to hide, Otomachi strokes his cheeks and mouth as if wiping them.
そうだったのか？
So, was it? I shook my head in amazement. It was so strong that I thought my neck was gonna fall off. And I'll tell you. Aren't you stupid?
ああ、いや、
I'll
だ
tell him.
が、
No, but... Otomachi kept his eyes
だが
wandering.
どうやって探すつもりだったんだ？
But how are you gonna look for it? How are you gonna look for her? I was going to check the base station when the email was sent. If we identify it, we can narrow down the search area to some
基
extent.
地局って電波の基地局のことか？
Okay, this is skippable. Okay, so this is... Who is it? And then the Rebrock guy. Who is that?
リブロクの男、キツネメヌ。
The guy from Rebrock, Fox Eyes. What was his name? Is that what his name was? Kiridera. So what did he do?
こんなようなこと言ってたでしょ？
He said something like this, right?
第二エクリプス計画が発動するのは日食の後。
You know, is this skippable? The second Eclipse project will be activated after the solar
太陽が
eclipse.
頂点に達した時、時が止まる。
When the sun reaches its peak, time stops. Yes, it is. Okay. So this is... Would there be statues, and then is time flowing here now? Okay, let's say, wouldn't they be statues? Oh, it's time. I picked the. No, that one's back. That one's upside down. Okay. Okay, I picked the wrong one because that one's upside down.
それはここが未来の世界だからですよ。
Well, the one that, maybe not the wrong one. The one I did not intend to pick. I don't understand what it means. In a world where time stopped, there would be no future beyond that, right? Okay. So why was it not read? And then the content. Let's use the content. If there was someone who stole the email and read it, who would it be? Be on one's mind, there's no way I wouldn't be concerned. But for now, I am more concerned about the text of the email. Then Otomachi said, "Decipher the code? No. I can't do it. I didn't want to say that even if my mouth was torn. Okay, my pride won't allow it. So I answered, well, I can do it.
本当か？
Really? Otomachi looked at me suspiciously. I repeated again, trying to shake off that doubt. You can say I can say I can, so I can. It's like you're being like Phoenix Wright. Oh yeah, I've got evidence. I don't know what evidence that's going to be, but I got evidence. Oh, you really do, Phoenix. Okay, well present.
おお、すごい自信だな。
Wow, you're very confident, sarcastically.
それじゃ聞かせてくれ。
Then let me hear it.
誠は今どこのホテルにいるって言うんだ？
Which hotel is Makoto staying at now? Let's pick the wrong one. Sun and Moon Hotel. Sun and Moon.
どうしてそこだと？
Why is it there? Do you want me to tell you?
ああ、
Yeah, you're stalling. It's just a hunch. When I answered, Otomachi wanted all the holes in his face. He asked me with a sullen look on his face.
おいおい、一体どうしちまったんだよ、なるみ。
Oh hey, what's going on, Narumi?
いつものお前ならもっと論理的に推理を働かせるはずだろ？
As usual, you should be more logical in your reasoning, right? Because I opened my eyes and screamed. Screamed. You don't know what you don't know, so there's no use for it. Otomachi is stunned. It took a while for the Haniwa-like face to return to normal. Eventually, I understand. Otomachi took out his laptop from the bag of his feet and continued.
どうやら今のお前は普通じゃないらしい。
Looks like you're not normal right now.
一緒に考えていくことにしよう。
Let's think about it together, huh? I obediently nodded and showed
ま
him.
ずその前に一つ聞いておきたいことがある。
First of all, there's one thing I'd like to ask
お前
you.
新約聖書って読んだことあるか？
Have you ever read the New Testament? No, I haven't.
だよな。お前は CPS サイクロペディア症候群。
That's right, you have CPS, Cyclopedia Syndrome.
一度でも読んだことがあるなら全文を丸暗記してるはずだ。
If you read it even once, you should have memorized the entire text. Yes, but what does that have to do with this?
メールは引用なんだよ。新約聖書からの。
The email is a quote from the New Testament. That's right, that was...
しかも第六の封印という有名なフレーズがあることからさらに範囲は絞られる。
Moreover, since there is a famous phrase called the sixth seal, the range is further narrowed down. So,
ヨハネの黙示録。そこからの引用なんだ。
the revelation of John, that's what they call it. Well, okay, a quote from there. Wow, that's detailed. The positions were reversed as usual. It feels kind of weird. But this isn't so bad, I thought. If you keep replying to me, you'll get tired. So,
いや、俺がわかるのはここまでだ。
no, that's all I understand.
まだなるみ。お前
The
に
rest
任
is
せる。
Narumi. I'll leave it to
キ
you.
ーワードはヨハネの黙示録。
Keyword is revelation of John.
それに関連したホテルが必ず首都圏のどこかにあるはずだ。
There must be a hotel related to that somewhere in the metropolitan area. Apocalypse means apocalypse or revelation in English. However, when referring to revelation, revelation is usually used. Meaning when referring to the book. With that in mind, I eventually searched the database in my brain. I immediately searched the database in my brain. Even if I had never read the New Testament, I always checked the latest version of the telephone directory. I have an entire book's worth written into my head. The answer was found quickly. The hotel was named Rev, in abbreviation of Revelation. It's also nearby. I said it out loud. I understand Makoto's whereabouts. Where is it? Or where is she? It's called the Hotel
そう
Rev.
か。こっちも分かったぞ。
I see, I got it too.
引用された記述が何章何節のものなのか。
Which chapter and section does the quoted description belong to? You looked it up on the internet, right?
あ、そうだ。
Oh, that's right. So what's the answer?
ヨハネの黙示録。6章12節の記述だった。
It was written in Revelation 6:12.
つまり、
In other words, 612, 612, 612, 612. Maybe a room number.
おそらくな。
Probably. When I heard that answer, I burst into laughter. I jumped up from my seat and ran out of the store.
おい待てよナルミどこに行くつもりだ
Hey, wait, Narumi, where are you going? A voice came from behind me. I answered while running. You know it even if I don't say it. Hotel Reb, room 162.
Omega, どうするんだよ?
Or 612. What will Omega do? I'll leave it to you.
任せるってお前
You leave it to me. I waved off the voices chasing me and headed for the exit of the hospital. This is a skip. For all I know, it's to spin if it transports to the future. However, we're not the only ones who are blown away. Yeah. Okay, do you know Kiradera? What do you know about Kiradera? I'm gonna say, do you know Kiradera?
ないよ。あるわけないじゃん。
No, there's no way it exists, or no way I know. Okay. So I'm gonna say I see a bathtub. There is liquid in the bathtub. It's a crimson liquid. The temperature doesn't seem very high. It's either lukewarm water or water. Oh, okay, that's lame. The water level is the very edge of the bathtub. Highly vicious water was overflowing from the corner and flowing down. There was a knife lying outside the bathtub. It's a diving knife, total length 255 millimeters, blade length 125 millimeters. The titanium alloy blade has sticky red substance attached to it. A woman is lying in the bathtub. Okay, I could probably skip, right? Sent the email. Okay, are you sure you don't recognize the person who sent the email? And you go like, no, I'm sure. There is.
あるの？
Does it exist? I think.
どっちだよ。
Which one is it? I'm not confident, but it could be him.
誰？
Who? Click Maina. Maina.
マイナさんが？どうして？
Maina-san, why? She stinks.
2日もお風呂に入ってないから？
She hasn't had a bath in 2 days? It's a classic gag. What? That's a classic gag. It reeks of the Showa era.
そんなに入ってないの？
Isn't there... Is it... There's not that much inside. What? Idiot. There's no way there's someone who hasn't taken a bath since the Showa era.
今年は平成24年だから。
This is your 2012, so... Don't calculate.
だってレイマルが匂うって言うから。
Because when Maru says it smells, or just smells, it means suspicious, you understand? That's about it.
わかんないよ。
I don't know. So I guess someone is being stinky kind of means someone's sus in Japanese. Why don't you understand?
だってマイナさん全然怪しくなんかないもん。
Because Maina-san, there's nothing suspicious about her at all. Yeah, idiot. Your voice is so big, she can probably hear you. I check behind me. Maina is leisurely walking while looking at the cityscape. She doesn't seem to care about us at all.
ねえ、どうしてマイナさんが怪しいって思ったの？
Hey, why do you think Maina-san is suspicious? Why, that's, somehow...
なんとなくって。
Somehow...
こ 拠もなく人を疑うなんてひどいよ。
It's terrible to doubt people without any basis.
マイナさんがかわいそう。
I feel sorry for Maina. Hey, wait, Mew. I didn't say anything suspicious in a bad way, right? Even if Maina is the person who sent the email, that doesn't mean she is an enemy to us. Because that email says something like, I want you to help Mew. In other words, they're on your side, the sender.
味方
Ally? Yes, they're on your
ね
side.
だったらさ、
Hey, if that's the
あの
case,
リブロクの女の子の方が可能性が高いんじゃないの？
isn't the girl from Rebrock more likely?
名前を
Yep. I don't think this matters what we eat, so I'm just gonna get the steak knife just to get through this and not, like, you know, have to not skip. We're gonna hesitate a bit. I tried to jump toward the 4 girls, but, okay. Then hitting the bottle, we're gonna hit the girl. Even I don't really understand why I did that. Before the 2 of them started crying, instead the girls, okay, fell back a few steps, landed on her butt, dazed. She seemed like she didn't understand what she had been hit. Other people were also stunned, Mew too. It seemed like they forgot to cry, forgot the pain, and even forgot how to breathe. The one who started crying instead was the girl who seemed to be the leader. And then I don't know what this is. It hurts so much, it really hurts, weeping all the time. She fumbled through her pockets and pulled out her mobile phone. I pressed the button with my trembling. She presses the button with her trembling fingertips. Looks like she's calling someone.
お兄ちゃん
Okay, so it's calling Oni-chan, and then that keeps going. Okay, I say not really. I don't really care. Not much.
あんまりって
Not much. Not really. More than that. I pushed the indoor shoes further forward. Mew takes them quietly. Then, as if holding a treasure, she pressed them firmly against her chest.
いい匂い
They smell good. Okay, just wash them for me, and then, like, just say no. No, it wasn't the one. I wasn't the one who washed
じゃあ
them.
誰が
Then who? The old man at the construction site. I replied. Then Mew chuckled.
そうなんだ
Yeah, that's right. Why are you
だっ
laughing?
て出てるんだもんまた
Well, it's coming out again. Coming out again? Yeah,
鼻血
your nosebleed. I stretched out the tip of my tongue and licked the bottom of my nose. A smooth texture. The taste of rusted iron spreads throughout my mouth. Mew had a smile on her face and was laughing out loud. This is what happened when I witnessed Sai for the first time in my life. Furthermore, fortunately no one was inside the gym and no one was injured. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do these all anyway. There are 2 beds, box shaped rather than leg supported. Nightstand is wedged between the 2 beds. There's this thing and a jig. chairs. The window. You gotta pick all these anyway. Closet. The bathroom. Oh, this is different. Everything else was the same. The bloody diving knife was also found in the same spot as when Makoto was there. Makoto probably used the knife to cut her own head. I felt nauseous again. Something hot rises from deep within my stomach. Okay, so that's... Because he did investigate the knife earlier, so that dialogue changes. So who must die? Let's just say this. The wrong answer. Cotton salt. Yes, cotton salt. Skips to... The answer is probably I. Oh, I can't skip a lot of this. Okay. I think the Grim Reaper is saying, look for the word that means I in the sentence I must die. The answer cannot be anything other than I. I looked again at every corner of the room. It happened. It's I. Okay, it's a vase shaped like the letter I. Now is that... Yeah, it can lets me skip now. Okay, my notes say this is the relation between Sai and the situation. So I'm gonna pick the thing I don't pick. Why? When I asked, Maina briefly explained. People disappear from the city because time in this world stopped. The reason for this is the execution of Second Eclipse project. I'll leave aside the question of why did I skip part 1 and call it part 2 for now. The execution unit is probably a group called the Cyber Criminals led by Kuradera, and there's also a higher level organization that is controlling it. By the way, the Psy Criminals as the name suggests, a unit made up of Psy users. Also, its leader, Kuradera, can also use Psy. To summarize, because of the plans of the users of Psy, this happened. That's why I thought about that the ability Psy might have something to do with it. But how is this related? Well, until then, does it let me skip now? Yes. What's this? Whoops. At least that's what Mew claims. Personally, though, I don't think so. Okay, so he says, also, Chisato is the one who sent me the email. That's what Mew claims. Personally, I don't think so. Okay. Why? Like, why don't you think so? Because there are too many things that are incomprehensible. For example, first of all, yeah. I don't understand why Chisato knows my cell phone or email address. Wasn't the address easy to predict? No, that string doesn't include my name. Okay, continuing. We'll pick the same stuff. Just so I can get through this. I like the yellow that comes from the ammonia and... Let's pick the wrong knife. Okay, pick kitchen scissors. Kitchen scissors. I don't know why suddenly these words crossed my mind. I tried typing them in. Kitchen scissors. Then the following message appears on the monitor. The password is incorrect. Please enter it again. That's right, kitchen scissors has nothing to do with it. By the way, why did the word kitchen scissors come to mind? Timeline jumping. Although I tilted my head, I thought again. What is the one that... Well, let's do another wrong answer. Yanagiba knife. The Yanagiba knife. I don't know why, suddenly these words crossed my mind. I tried typing them in. With the Yanagiba knife. The following message appears on the monitor. Password is incorrect. Please enter it again. That's right. The Yanagiba knife has nothing to do with it. By the way, why did the word Yanagiba knife come to mind? Although I tilted my head, I thought again. What is the one that cut Makoto's hair? Yes, I think Makoto's probably talking about that time. 9 years ago in the summer when I rescued Makoto from the bottom of the pool. Okay. That time we used a steak knife to cut the hairs, to take out the drains. The answer is steak knife. Okay. Let's do all these wrong answers. Family. That's not true. In fact, it's the opposite. For Makoto, her family should be nothing but an object of hatred. Really, I wonder what I'm thinking. I tapped the air around my forehead and thought again. Speaking of what Makoto loves. Dogs. Dog. Inu. I've known Makoto for almost 9 years now, and I never heard her say that she has a dog. But why did I think it was a dog? It felt very strange. It's like there's another person inside me. Meta. No. Let's stop thinking about unnecessary things. Shaking my head to rid myself of the evil thoughts, I thought again. What Makoto loves? Flowers. Flowers. Is it true that Makoto... It's true that Makoto likes flowers. But I feel like it's not at the level of, I love you. There's something more appropriate than that. Makoto loves so much, that is... star. I type star into the text box and hit the enter key. Okay. Let's pick all these wrong answers. Ohio. Ohio. Actually, I intentionally typed the wrong word. In order to check whether the authentication system is working properly. In short, I wanted to find out if the code would be played correctly if I entered the wrong code. The result is the password is incorrect. Please enter again. As expected, that's right. Once confirmed, I spell out the correct answer. Tadaima. 9 years ago. That's funny, like, the writer, you're funny. I mean, it was intentional, but for a different reason. 9 years ago in the summer. Okay. It's just rock, paper, scissors, I don't care. Okay, so talking to the boss, we can say, Hotel Rev, Yogi Park, Rebrock, or University Hospital. Let's say pick Rebrock. That's what I have not picked yet. Rebrock.
なぜリブロックに
Why Rebrock? I didn't answer because I didn't think there was any need to answer. You know, you're the boss. Kiradera, Chisato, Omega, all three of them are Rebrock students. So if I investigate that school, I'm sure to find some clues.
そうかまあいい
I see, that's fine.
だからその前に大学病院に寄っていけ
Let's get all these wrong. 19.55. 19.55 centimeters? When I answered that, the cow said,
外れだもう 18.44 メートルが正解なんだもん
You're wrong. 18.44 meters is the correct answer.
それでは時速 151.2km のボールがピッチャーの手を離れてからホームベースへとたどり着くまでの時間は
Okay, it's the same
た
question.
だし
ボールのリリースポイントはマウンドよりも
ええつまり時速151.2キロの球が 17.64 メートルを移動するのにかかる時間はということになるかと。はい。
Yeah. I guess it means how long does it take for a ball traveling 151.2 kilometers per hour to travel 17.64 centimeters? Let's get it wrong. Let's say 10 months and 10 days. October 10th.
アホなわけあるか。
Oh, how could that be?
一球にとつき10日もかかっとったら子供が生まれてまうやないけ。
If it takes 10 months or 10 days to play one ball, you'll have a baby.
例えばこんな風に。
For example, like this.
そろそろ野球中継が始まる頃やな。
Oh, it's almost time for the baseball broadcasts to
お
start.
い、あけみ、一緒にテレビ観戦しようや。
Hey, Akemi, let's watch TV
ピ
together.
ッチャー振りかぶって第1球を。
The pitcher swings at the first pitch.
おい、どないしたんや、あけみ。何よ、突然。
Oh, hey, what's going on, Akemi? What's going on all of a sudden?
What? アホ、やめろ、あけみ。やめるや。
Wow, stupid. Stop it, Akemi. Stop it.
離せ離せ離してくれあけみあけみあけみ
Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Akemi.
それから40週が経過し。
40 weeks have passed since
今日
then.
はいよいよ予定日やな、あけみ。
This is kind of dark. Really? Really, Mew? This is Kid Mew, by the way. Today is finally my due date, Akemi.
とつき10日っちゅうのは数えやからな。実際には280日ぐらいで生まれるのが普通や。
October and 10 days is a long time to count. In reality, it's normal to be born in about 280 days.
って言ってるそばから何やと破水したこりゃあかんはよ救急車呼ばな
What are you doing next to me? My water is broken. This can't be right. Okay, call an ambulance.
ピーポーピーポーキャキャーバン
I guess that's the ambulance noises.
発見撃った撃った撃ちましたこれは大きいぞ
Cracky, hit it. I hit it. This is big.
入るか入るか入るか入るか
Enter.
オッ
Something
ケー
like that.
ってボケーアホー
Oh, hiya. This is stupid. Oh, ho.
な時間かかってたら選手も観客も死んでまうな
If it takes that long, both the players and the audience will die.
正解は 0.42 秒に決まっとるやつがね
The correct answer is definitely 0.42 seconds.
問題はあと2つあるわ。次よ。
There are two more questions. Next.
アメリカのメジャーリーグにガブリエル・バルコロフという選手がいますバルコロフ
Okay, the correct answer is 0.2. So let's point whatever this is. About Mitsuo,
三つおって誰なんだ
which
ブ
is
ー
3 days or something.
髪染めてるおっさんのことなんて知らないブー
Who is Mitsuo? I don't know about the old man who dyes his hair.
まあある意味野球つながりではあるかもなんだも
Well, in a sense, it might be related to baseball, but what?
正解は約 0.2 秒なんだブー
The correct answer is 0.2 seconds.
まあ正確には0.182秒なんじゃがな。
Well, to be exact, it's 0.182 seconds.
では最後の問題でちゅ
Okay, let's move on to the last question.
長くなりましたが、これが最後なのです。はい。
Yeah, it's been a long time, but this is the last one, yes?
バルコロフがバットを振り始めてからボールに接触するまでの時間はどれぐらいやと思う
How long do you think it takes for Barkolov to... Okay. To make contact after he starts swinging the bat. Let's get it wrong. Whatever this stupid answer is. I've forgotten how many... What? The answer is, I've long since lost count of how many women I've slept with.
君まだ小児だがね。嘘ついたらあかんわ。
You're in the second grade. I wouldn't mind if you lied. What? You really shouldn't be telling lies.
正解は確か0.24秒だったと思うわ。
I think the correct answer is 0.24 seconds. What does that mean? Yeah,
お分かりになっていただけましたかな？
Did you understand?
時速151.2キロのボールがホームベースへとたどり着くまでの時間は0.42秒なんだわん。
そっ
So, let's inquire about Chisato. I don't think it matters here. Like, go inquire about Chisato?
ボスから聞いてないか？まだ手術は終わってない。
Okay, it's probably skippable, yeah. Okay, what should we stand in front of? Stand in front of Mew, stand in front of Maina. I don't know, I'll stand in front of Maina. Yeah, let's make him mad at me. Let's accuse him of something. Okay, let's do some different stuff. Let's just go. Who are you? Wow, this is different. Okay. Why do you know about me, about us? Sorry.
愚問だな。会ったことがあるからだ。
That's a stupid question, because we've met before. I don't remember meeting you.
それは失礼ってもんだ、レンマル。俺は、お前に会ったことがあると言っているのだ。
That's rude, Rimaru. I'm just saying I've met you before. It's similar to someone else's sky, isn't it? My memory is good.
じゃあ、なぜお前の名前を知っている？
Yeah, it's just in case of mistaken identity, isn't it? I actually have a pretty good memory. Then how do I know your name? Sinkuro says, that's...
会ったことがあるからだ。本当に。だからこんなにフレンドリーなんだ。
It's because we've met before, really. That's why we're so friendly. If you ask that type of business, you should be able to find out about me. I haven't met you.
そうか。そう思いたければそう思えばいい。
I see. If you want to think so, just think so. You've met me, but I've never met you. Isn't that irrational?
この世界は、お前の理屈の通る世界か？
Is this world a world where logic works?
他の質問を聞こう。
Let's ask other questions. Why'd you stop us, I think? Oh, why time has stopped. Never mind.
第二エクリプス計画。
Due to the second Eclipse project. Do you know?
サイの使い手たちが企てた計画。
Planned by the users of Psy. Who are they?
サイクリミナル。サイクロンの出来損ないだ。
The Psy criminals. A failed Psy clone. Cyclone.
キリデラに聞いてくれ。
Also, Kiridera. Hey, how do you really know who is Kiridera?
悲しい過去を背負った男だ。
A man with a sad past. What about Chisato? Did she
それは
survive?
自分の目で確かめた方がいい。
You should see it with your own eyes. Is she in this world?
自分で確かめた方がいい。
You should check yourself. The topic gets off topic when I'm talking to you. I just realized that. What I want to know is about the mechanism by which time is stopped.
まだお前が知るべき時ではない。
It's not the time for you to know yet. Are there other humans? Why are there no people or creatures? Okay, are there any other humans? Are there any other
い
humans?
ずれ会うことになる。会ってもらわなければ困る。
They'll meet you someday. They'll be in trouble if they don't meet you, but we are bound to meet eventually. In fact, we simply must meet. How many people are there in this
そ
world?
れなりにはいる。だが、少ないが。
There are quite a few, but there aren't many. Is there someone I need to meet?
その話は、また後でする。今はもっと他のことを質問しろ。
We'll talk about that later. Ask other things now. Okay, what is the Chimera Club? Then it's who are you? Why are you in this world? I guess I'll ask who are you? Who are you?
志村クラブの主催。名前はシンクロ。言ったはずだが。
The head of the Chimera Club. My name is Shinkuro. I thought I told you. That is not what I'm asking. What kind of power do you have and what kind of things do you know?
志村クラブの主催だからだ。
Because I'm the head of the Chimera Club? That is not the answer.
だが、それが答えだ。俺はこの世界のすべてを知っている。これまでの質問で、少なくともお前よりもこの世界について詳しいことは分かったはずだ。
But that is the answer. I know everything about this world. From the questions you've asked so far, I should at least know more about this world than you. Shinkuro continued answering my questions without moving an eyebrow. Due to the darkness, it was difficult to read the emotion on his face. I have no idea what he's
他
thinking.
に聞きたいことはないのか？
Is there anything else you'd like to ask? Shinkuro urges me. What the hell do you know?
すべてを。
Everything. What about this world?
ああ、そうだ。何もかもな。
Oh, that's right. Everything. Is this skippable? Yes, okay. I'm gonna pick the wrong thing. About 450
外れです。
kilos? I guess kilograms. Boo boo, you're a
ちゃ
loser.
んと計算しました？
Did you calculate it properly? No, no. I scratched my head to make up for it.
正解はだいたい45キロです。
The correct answer is approximately 45 kilometers. Well, it's kilograms, not kilometers. Yeah, I made a mistake in my calculations. Am I bad at mental
これ
arithmetic?
がこの小さいボルトにかかっている負荷と考えると、一つ一つのボルトがいかに重要かわかりませんか？
No, there's just someone who's also bad at mental arithmetic, but purposely controlling you to make you choose the wrong answer.
レンマル君。
Go to the wrong place. Go to the entrance. I searched around the entrance, but nothing was found. I decided to head for the emergency stairs. Take a loose circle. Okay. And then... pick this one. No, it clearly looks like a treasure. I can't be ignored. Okay. Ignore it. No, it clearly looks like a treasure. Can't be ignored. Ignore it. No. Ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. Man, you railroaded me. It's a big choice. We're gonna talk to the boy. So the boy was standing next to you in front of me, so I immediately called out to him. Hey boy.
僕のことですか?
Mean me? Yes, Shonen. What about us? I should have called out to him, but I couldn't find the words to say, so I asked a stupid question.
とりあえず僕の名前はタンゴです。レンマルさんとミュウさんでしたっけ?
Anyway, my name is Tongo. Was it Renmaru-san and Miu-san?
二人とも隊長に気に入られたみたいですね。珍しいことなんですよ。光栄に思わないと。
It seems like the captain likes both of you. It's a rare thing, isn't it? You must feel honored. It's an honor, hey.
一緒に来ますか?
Will you come with me?
どこに行くの?
Come with us? Where are we going?
アジトに帰還するところです。
We're about to return to the hideout. Hideout?
本拠地ですよ。ねぐらって言ってもいいですけど。
It's our home base. You could call it a roost. Don't go. No, I'll not go. I see.
ちょっと待った!
Wait a minute.
どうしました?
What's up?
いや、行きます!
No, I'm going. Yeah, why?
なんでも敵じゃなさそうだもん。だってこんなに人がいるんだよ。この世界のこともっとわかると思うよ。
Nothing. It doesn't seem like they're the enemy after all. There's so many people, right? I think we can learn more about this world.
そうですよ。歓迎しますよ。今日から僕らミラージュの仲間ですね。
That's right. You're welcome. From today on, we're Mirage's friends. You're from Mirage's friends. Mirage?
そうですが。
I see. I have something to do with you guys. I grabbed Tongo's shoulders tightly. Why would you do
やっ
that?
と探している人たちに会えたようですね。
It looks like you finally met the people you were looking for. Yes, Tongo, you guys have something. I have something to give Mirage. But we were having such a conversation with Tongo and Maina. Suddenly, when we were having such.
うるさいよそこ。黙ってついてこい。
It's noisy over there. Shut up and follow me. You spoke angrily. You are the captain of Mirage. I took out a letter from my pocket and handed it to you.
何これ?
What is this? The Chimera Club is run by those guys.
シンクロから?
From Shinkuro? Oh, the guy who runs the Chimera Club. What I handed out was a letter I had received from Shinkuro. I might pause the encoding. Okay, I'm back. You took it, unfolded the letter, and tore it up after reading it.
条件を飲まない限り停戦には合意できない。そう伝えといて。
It doesn't look like a castle. To be honest, it doesn't look like a castle. I don't know why that's not in green. Blue, that's weird. A castle like this is impossible. How can this place look like a castle?
うるさい!
You're noisy.
ここは城なの!
This is a castle.
誰が何と言おうと城なの!
No matter what anyone says, it's a
こ
castle.
こを城って認めないんだったら入れさせてあげないんだから!
If you don't recognize this as a castle, I won't let you in.
ねえ、マル。
In Maru. I understand. That was my fault. This is Mirage's castle, without a doubt.
本当に?
Really? I guarantee it, without a doubt. Lord of the castle.
わかればよろしい.
Why was that not in blue? Whatever. So... not into the Utopia thing. This probably doesn't matter. I'll just deny it, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't get a nosebleed either way, so it seems like the game has a response there. Drink orange juice. I'm not gonna try to pretend to like Rotomon. I was asking about hacking the bots. Let's talk to Maina. Do the Maina thing. Although this might be different than last time because we might not do the T over L law. Oh. No, don't chase after Mew. This is before. And then we gotta talk to Tongo. Which basically is nobody, because we can't find him. Do this dumb thing where you like, care for my room too? Or something?
どこ
let's say it looks like a skull.
ドクロ
Do the questioning thing.
不思議だ
What's going here? Okay, same. Same. Can I get out of the credits? Oh, what key press works for this? Like, you're trying different things. Maybe I can't get out of the credits. Anyway, so I tried to give relatively bad answers. Like, almost the worst possible set of answers. Although that might have not been the case for two of the questions because I got them mixed up in my notes. I ended up with the same result as I had always been getting, which means the piano music is so loud. Why can I not skip this? Basically, that means that the worst ending possible probably is the divide ending. That's like the bad ending. And I've just been getting that over and over again. So, like, what I was trying to test is if there were certain, like, pitfalls, like, there was, like Remember 11, where you could, there are these sub-endings you could get for making the exact wrong decision at certain specific places, and that when I was going through it the first time, I missed all these bad endings. When I first played Remember 11, I missed a lot of bad endings just on the first go, and managed to get a bad ending that happened relatively late. I was trying to test if that was happening here, by trying to make a bunch of bad decisions, but it appears that's not the case. I wasn't missing a bunch of bad endings, and that doesn't, the bad endings missing didn't account for the 8 endings I wasn't getting, but in fact, I was actually getting the worst ending you could possibly get the whole time. So, well, this is a very difficult game, it appears. I don't really know how to proceed from here. I don't really have any clues on how to move forward that at least I've recognized. That's just it. Like, not particularly fun situation to be in. Yep, it's the divide ending. Absolutely nothing new whatsoever. Wow. So, this fourth ending, divide, that's the do everything wrong ending. And it might be the do everything wrong ending of the Renmaru Sai, and these 4 endings are endings you can get when you get into the Narumi side. So these are 3 endings you have to get by doing something better. Huh. Huh. Well, for now, I'm stumped.